Welcome back, Irish fans, to Breaking on Brey's Boys podcast. Been talking a ton about individual games for Notre Dame and this year's team, but figured I'd kind of look at it from a different angle and talk about some recruiting. Love recruiting, my favorite part of the offseason every year. And there's not much in terms of actual recruiting going on right now, but Notre Dame finished off their 2022 class. They're all signed, barring some late signing period stud that they find. I think they're done recruiting that class, and for good reason. They finished 16th nationally. I'm sure somebody will jump them if they get one prospect, but they'll finish around there. This is a really good class, and we're going to get into that in a minute. I think it's their best class since 2018, pretty much undoubtedly. I think it's better than the 2018 class. 2018 had better numbers. I think they were close to a top 10 class, if not a top 10 class. I wasn't as big of a recruiting guy back then. But after everything, the three guys who are contributing for Notre Dame are Prentice Hub, Dane Goodwin, and Nate Laszewski from that class. And those three guys are all primarily shooters. Some of them have other aspects of their game. Prentice can get downhill a little bit and make some creative finishes. Dane Goodwin has been all around solid this year, and Nate Laszewski has really developed on the glass a little bit, even though he's not super physical. But coming down to it, they're all shooters at heart. That's the main part of their game. And that's not the case with this class, which I really like. I like that they did that in the 2020 class too. 2021 even, JR, I guess you could say his main thing is shooting. I think he's just an all-around scorer. But Blake Wesley has a ton of other elements to his game, and I don't think shooting is his main thing. Shooting might actually be one of the worst part of his games, but he actually is shooting the ball pretty well right now. I think he's shooting 38%. But this class, I think, has a lot of variety, a lot of diversity like the 2020 class did, and I really love that the staff is trying to do that now. I think they noticed that roster was filled with a lot of shooters, and they didn't want to do that anymore. So I remember Ryan Humphrey in our interview a few years ago was talking about that they wanted to get a little more variety in their classes, and they've done that recently. Brey said of this class that they're all ready to play as freshmen and that they're going to need them to. I don't fully believe that, but it just shows you how highly the staff thinks of this class and just how good they think this class can be in general. And I agree with them. I don't know if I agree that they can all play as freshmen and they're going to need all of them to play, but certainly I agree that this is a really good class. And I guess I'll go into every player individually. They got three guys. Depending on where you look, they're all top 100 guys. Two of them are consensus top 100 guys, and then Dom Campbell's a little bit on the fringe depending on what slate you look at. He's a top 100 guy, and I think he should be. But starting with JJ Starling, the guy who starts every discussion about this team, the centerpiece of the class, one of the best scorers and shooters in the high school class. The big question for me, though, with JJ Starling, I think pretty much every aspect of his game is ready to play at the college level. Lalu has really helped his development, I think, playing off the ball a little more. But with playing off the ball comes the question, can he run the show next year? Originally, when Notre Dame started recruiting him, I thought that he was their point guard of the future if they landed him. But now he's playing the two and actually a lot of the three with Jeremy Fears and Aiden Holloway. Aiden Holloway is also Notre Dame target in 2023. But Starling's playing the three a lot for Lalu. I think that makes things a lot more interesting, especially if Blake Wesley and Cormac and Trey come back. Who's playing point guard next year? I think that's a really interesting thing to monitor. I originally thought it was going to be JJ, but JJ hasn't really played point guard much recently. Didn't play much in AAU either. Mostly running off screens or just standing out on the wing and then taking guys off the bounce. But I'd love to see I can't wait to see this summer how they kind of approach that. Who's running the show? Is it Blake Wesley if he comes back? He's been really good at getting downhill, and the offense doesn't look bad at all when he's running point guard, but I think he needs to improve on getting others involved a little bit, even though he is unselfish. It just hasn't created that much for other guys. Cormac and Trey, you kind of know what you have with them as combo guards. But JJ, I think A little bit of an unknown as the point guard. I think he might be better suited as the two guard. Um, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they do at point guard next year. I don't know that they need to bring in a transfer to do that. I think they could get good enough point guard play out of one of the four guys, but definitely something to monitor next year. Um, is he running the show? But like I said, Starling is just wherever they put him, he's going to be good. Like he's one of the best all-around scorers in this class, and Ryan Ayers, take his opinion for what it's worth with how his Notre Dame coaching career ended, but Ryan Ayers was talking about in JJ's sophomore year that he was the best shooter in the country. That's really high praise for a guy who wasn't even playing at La Lumiere at that point. He was at Baldwinsville. I don't know even know if Notre Dame had offered him at that point, but JJ Starling is just awesome scorer, unbelievable shooter. I've heard people say he has an NBA ready jump shot, and that was like a year ago. But the thing I love most about his offensive skill set is how he's developed as a driver. Guy just glides through the lane. He's much more athletic than people give him credit for. I think that's the most underrated part of his game is his athleticism. And yeah, JJ's going to be really good for Notre Dame on the offensive end. On the defensive end, things going to be pretty good. So I don't think he has that it factor that Blake Wesley has defensively, that innate aggressiveness that he has. But I think JJ's going to be a guy who stays in front of guys, moves his feet, and gets out to contest. I don't know if we're ever going to praise him for being like an unbelievable defender, like Blake gets praised or Cormac gets praised, but I think JJ is going to be a good defensive player for his whole career, and definitely won't be a liability. Kind of the same thing for Ven-Allen Lubin, who I'll get into too. I think he's got to work with Anthony Solomon and Ryan Humphrey on defending a little more technically, but I think the way he gets playing time his freshman year is just his versatility, especially on defense. Guard pretty much any position, maybe even 1 through 5 against some teams he can guard. But I just love how Ven-Allen Lubin is a piece for you defensively. You can put him pretty much anywhere. I think his offense has a little bit of ways to go. We've seen him put it on the floor and create for himself a little bit, but we've seen that with Nate Laszewski as the 4, him, even though he can really shoot it, he hasn't really been able to create for himself all that much. And I think that's really limited his ceiling offensively, and he kind of gets lost in the shuffle at sometimes on an offensive end just because of that. Ven Lubin, I think, has a lot more potential offensively than Nate does, even though he's not as good of a shooter. Just a freak athlete. I mean, if you watch any Ven Lubin highlight tape, there's just dunks after dunks after dunks. And I think his ceiling offensively is almost limitless. Guy's 6'7", can handle it like a guard, can shoot it a lot better than I originally thought he could shoot it. And every time I watch this guy play offensively, I think I like him better. Like, I feel like he's really developing offensively, and he'll continue to do that at Notre Dame, especially if he's in Brey's system where it's kind of free flowing and he can get one-on-ones on the perimeter and go downhill and get guys to the rim. But the main thing about him is his athleticism. Like I said, that's going to help him play. It's going to help him be successful in pretty much every situation he's in. Obviously, he'll need to work on some things technically, but, man, that athleticism is really going to carry him far. He can move well. He's got good coordination, so I think eventually he will be a really good offensive player for them. I think JJ and Blake are guys early to really contribute on that end, but this is Ven Lubin's a really good player pretty much in all aspects. Even if he hasn't really worked some things out offensively next year, I think he's still gonna find a way to contribute either with his athleticism or his defensive versatility. So a lot to be excited about for Ven-Allen Lubin, and he's a really, really good second piece to this class. I think outside of Blake Wesley, he's the best recruit they've got since 2018, and he's the second best recruit in this class. So that's saying a lot. Moving on to Dom Campbell, a guy who doesn't get enough credit. I think he would be the number one prospect in Notre Dame's 2022 class or 2020 class, and I think he's the fourth best player they've got since 2018, and he's the third best player in this class. Actually, I think I like JR a little more as a prospect, but don't let it get lost that Dom Campbell is a really good prospect. So quick, so skilled around the basket. He's a good shooter. Can play inside and outside. I think he just needs to work on moving a little bit better. He's also not an awesome athlete, but Matt Zona had those same kind of issues coming out of high school. But I think Dom is a better prospect than him just because I think he's a lot more skilled around the basket. He's a lot more physical, and he can really help them down low. He's smart. He puts himself in good positions. I think if he can move better, then he'll be just fine. The athleticism thing concerns me a little bit. That's why I was pushing back on that they're all ready to play. I'm not sure if Dom will be a huge contributor as a freshman, but I do really like him in all aspects. And I think by year 3 or 4, he'll be a monster down there. Brings energy, just brings physicality, things that Notre Dame has needed. All 3 of these guys have bring something that Notre Dame hasn't had much of. Starling brings a guy who can get downhill offensively, a guy who might be able to run the show. Ven-Allen Lubin brings awesome athleticism, which Notre Dame hasn't had much of. And Dom Campbell brings just some physicality down there, which Notre Dame hasn't had much of, even though Nate and Paul have made do with their frames down there. But all 3 of these guys bring something Notre Dame doesn't have, and all 3, I think, are going to be really good players. And if they pan out, this is a better class than 2018, which I guess isn't saying that much based on how the class has developed and how many games they've won and everything. But in terms of recruiting rankings and everything, it's big. I think this is their best class in a while. Could be one of Brey's best classes ever. And we'll see if they actually get to play for Brey. But if Notre Dame turns the program around, it's going to be because of these guys. If they turn the program around under Brey, it's going to be because of these guys, is what I meant to say. These guys and Blake Wesley and JR will be the guys to make things change. So unbelievable job by the staff recruiting these guys. If you want a more in-depth look of each prospect, check out the videos I posted when they committed. It'll probably be a little bit down on the channel, but you should be able to find them. That's really all I got for this class. We'll definitely talk more about them as I get to see more film. Finally saw some Ven-Allen Lubin film. Looks good. Looks coordinated. I just think he looks a little bit better too. JJ just gets better every time I watch him. And Dom, I'd like to get some film on soon, but he plays at like a small school in Maine. So we'll see how much film I can actually get of him. But really looking forward to this class getting on campus this summer. And we'll see who comes back with them. This is next year has the potential to be really fun, and it's a lot of that is these guys. So thank you guys for watching. We'll definitely do some more recruiting talk with this video as well. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.